Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. As you guys can see by the title, e.l.f. is taking all my money. So they actually came out with a couple new products again, and I decided to get my hands on it and do a dedicated video because we do have a brand new sunscreen, but we also have a brand new brush set, and I wanted to do a full face with it to show you guys if it's worth your money to buy the whole set or not. So I hope that this video is helpful to you guys. If you enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into it. All right, so let's just dive right into it. Like I mentioned, e.l.f. came out with 2 new products, and as much as I really do love their Whoa Glow Suntouchable SPF and primer, the fact that they came out with a blurring one that is 35 SPF might be more my jam. You guys know that I love to blur the pores, so if this is a blurring primer and an SPF, it's like, what more could we need? And like I mentioned in the intro, I did want to do a full face with these brushes because a lot of you guys asked me for recommendations for very affordable brushes, and this was pretty affordable, so I figured like let's try it out, and then if we like it, then now you have a whole set ready to go. But first, let's talk about this because I obviously want to use it as my primer before we apply all the makeup. So let me give you guys some details. So you guys can see this is again the Suntouchable Invisible 35 SPF blurring primer as well as sunscreen. It is the exact same size as the Whoa Glow. They both have 1.69 fluid ounces. Technically this one's 1.7. This is a completely clear SPF 35 sunscreen that helps protect the skin while it primes, creating a smooth, poreless looking complexion that grips makeup for a long lasting wear. Grips makeup. They love the gripping word. And by the way, I know there's a lot coming out from e.l.f. I have been buying everything, so if you want to see more reviews on newer products, definitely check out my last couple videos because I've been reviewing everything. This is going to be the consistency. Very interesting. It feels just like those primers that have like that silicone-y feel. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it, and it actually feels very, very lightweight and smoothing. This is actually blending out super easily. It's not like thick and pasty or anything like that. And it's gliding on the skin. A little bit goes such a long way. It's like really, really spreading on my skin very evenly. Here is the side with the sunscreen. Here is the side without it. I definitely think it gave me a very natural mattification. My skin feels really, really nice and smooth. Like my foundation's really gonna glide on. Okay, what do you guys think? I feel like it definitely blurred the pores. It looks really nice, actually. It's interesting because I feel like my skin still looks naturally glowy, like just naturally, not like shimmery, but it's like smooth and like a little mattified. Like, does that make sense? It's like a soft focus natural finish. I definitely think that it did cover my pores and made my skin just look overall a lot smoother. What do you guys think? At first when you're applying it, it could feel a little greasy, but once you let it sit, it doesn't feel greasy anymore. It just feels hydrating. So far, I'm actually really liking it because I feel like sometimes sunscreens that claim to do these things can get really, really thick and goopy, and this one is definitely more lightweight. Right now, I'm loving it. Obviously, we have to see if the foundation and everything else goes on top really nicely without peeling it, but just as a sunscreen on my face, on my bare face by itself, I think it looks gorgeous. It just makes your skin just look like soft focus. So let's move on to these brushes, and then in the end I will give you guys my full review on the sunscreen as well as the brushes, of course. Here's some details. So this is a 17-piece, it's called the Ultimate Makeup Brush Set and Travel Roll. It is going to be $58. You're paying $3.41 per brush. We love that. So it's supposed to be a total value of over $90. It actually has like a specific way of using each one. Obviously you can use your brushes however you want, but I'll try to go along these lines to use them how they recommend, and then of course I'll just use whatever products I also think I should be using. This is all the brushes, and here is the roll. I'm getting some chemical smells. Definitely from this roller brush thing. So this is what it looks like. It's like extremely thin. It's not going to be like something like super protective. It's literally just a roller pouch. And once you roll all your brushes in, all you have to do is tie it around. So definitely really easy for travel because it doesn't take much space, but just know that it's not like something super thick or anything like that. There is a putty primer brush, but we're not going to use that today because, well, we can use it just not as putty primer brush because I don't want to add any more primer on to this sunscreen because I want to make sure that I'm just using a amount of products that I know that I love that doesn't peel up, because I want to give give this sunscreen like a really good chance. Okay, so I guess we're gonna use the Flawless Face for the foundation. Normally, I actually used to buy this brush for foundation as like a kabuki brush, but it's called powder. So I guess we'll use it for powder. This I would normally use for like bronzer. It says that we can use this for like a very natural finish. So let's go ahead and use this for foundation. For foundation, I'm just gonna go with my current favorite. This is the Ulta Beauty Youthful Glow Foundation Serum Drops in the shade Medium Olive. I'm excited to see how the makeup's gonna wear under this sunscreen as well. So let's buff this out. Ooh, this is actually buffing it out really, really quickly because it's so big and fluffy. I will say that sunscreen is almost like mattifying my like glowy skin tint. Giving like a satin finish, but this skin tint is usually like super glowy. So that's very interesting. Keep that in mind that this primer might actually mattify a little bit of your complexion product. But wow, I actually really, really like this brush. It really did blend out the skin tint so quick. Okay, so next we have the Putty Bronzer Brush. So this is going to be an angled brush and it's a little bit more dense. It's actually very small, so it actually will be going in perfectly to this one. So I'm going to use the Luminous Putty Bronzer in the shade Sun Chaser. Usually I would use something bigger, but I guess it'll be perfect for this. I just don't know how much it's going to like buff it out, but let's go ahead and do it. I think I went overboard. I don't know why I forgot that these are like really pigmented. So I'm gonna grab whatever is left and put it over here. I will say the size of this brush I think would be better for like chiseling out the face because this isn't really blending too much. I still like it though. I think this would be really, really nice for applying cream contour for sure. Okay, this is getting a little muddy looking. So I'm gonna go back to the foundation brush. And I'm just going to quickly blend this because I actually really do like this bronzer. I just don't think this is the perfect brush for it. Now we are buffed out and ready to go. I am really liking this brush because it's very like easy to use for whatever the heck you want to use it for. Okay, next we have the concealer brush. So this is really just a flat brush. I think this is going to be really nice to apply the concealer, not necessarily to blend it out. I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Quickie. Normally I would just use the doe foot applicator. It is applying really nicely and it's grabbing a lot of product actually. You really don't have to put that much on it. I definitely think I'm gonna go ahead and use a sponge to blend it out. It's just a simple little flat brush, so definitely good for cutting out the crease, for adding your concealer. Just keep in mind that looking at the brush set, there isn't really like a brush to blend out your concealer. So if that is something that you're looking for, keep that in mind. We do have a blush brush that's for powder blush. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Putty Primer Application brush as a putty blush brush. Wow, that was a lot. It does have this bottom thing so that you guys can scoop out the putty primer if that's something that you want. I'm gonna go in with the Luminous Putty Blush in the shade St. Bart's. It's one of my favorites. Looks so nice. I'm gonna start using these putty blushes and bronzers again because I don't know why I just forgot all about them. So this actually went really, really nice. It is quite a dense brush. So as you guys can see, like it definitely blends, but it is more precise. Definitely use something more fluffy if you prefer something more natural, but I do think it's like the perfect size to put in these blushes and bronzers, and of course perfect for the putty primer. So there is no brush to like set under the eyes with, so I'm gonna go ahead and just set my under eyes and then we will use the powder brush to set the rest of the face. So next we have the powder brush, described as a soft and versatile face makeup brush for powders. Now of course you can definitely use this for powders, and because it's like a kabuki, it'll definitely pack it on. But I will say if you do prefer a foundation brush that has more coverage than the one we used, this is also a really good one. I've actually owned this brush for a long, long time. I'm just gonna grab my Ulta Beauty Collection powder and I'm just going to set the face. It's definitely not my favorite for setting the face because it is so flat, so it's kind of like not a fluffy brush, but this, if I were you, I would use it as a foundation brush. So this is the complexion brush is what it's called. And then on the website, it's described as a soft, versatile face makeup brush for powders. So we're gonna go ahead and use this for a bronzer because it's like the perfect shape for a fluffy bronzer brush. I'm gonna use my go-to, the L'Oreal Infallible Powder Bronzer. It's definitely oversized. I personally think that this would be the perfect brush to set your makeup with powder. So this to me is really nice. It's soft, it's it spreads, so this would be perfect for the powder. And maybe the first brush that we used, even though this is beautiful for foundation, this could also be your actual bronzer brush because it's not as big and fluffy, so it definitely will add more pigment and maybe be a little bit more precise. But this definitely gave me a nice sun-kissed look without any like harsh lines. So next we have the blush brush, and this says that it can be used to apply blush or bronzer. So definitely a more precise bronzer brush, but I think this would be perfect for blush. So I'm gonna grab the Juvias Place blush in volume 5, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. I think this is actually really nice. It's precise, but it's fluffy, so it's giving like a really good amount of like pigment, but without it looking like too much. It's definitely blending it out without spreading it too much. This is actually a really, really nice powder blush brush. I'm a fan. This is the fan brush, and normally you would apply like highlighter with a fan brush. On the website, it's saying that this fan brush is to use to lightly dust on powder or to contour. Normally, I feel like people love adding like their highlight. To be honest, I kind of want to just do that because I don't think this would be the best for contouring. You guys know I love a subtle glow, so I'm going to grab the Makeup Forever like glowy finishing powder and use that as an all-over highlight. Love that. Oh my gosh. That is applying that so nicely. Look at that. And I do think this is actually perfect for that because it's like super flimsy. So you can actually just like put this all over the face, anywhere you want to highlight. I do think it could add like a very natural contour if that's what you're going for. But these fan brushes are pretty nice for above the cheekbone because it really just does all the blending for you. Next we have the Eyebrow Duo. Now this is a brush that I feel like everybody needs. This is going to be a really nice angled brush to apply any like powder, eyebrow powder, and then this is going to be really nice to just run the spoolie through. So let's go ahead and apply some eyebrow powder. I do like to use a brow gel, so I'm going to use a brow gel, but I'm going to use this little pencil to add the brow powder under. Obviously this is like self-explanatory, but I do think that everybody needs a little brush like this. I'm adding the Rare Beauty little brow powder duo. Moving on, the rest of the brushes that we have are going to be eyeshadow brushes. So let's start out with this. So this is actually the Fluffy Eye Blender. It's a pretty big fluffy brush, and you guys know I love that. I will say, could possibly be used to like blend out your concealer, so keep that in mind. I don't want to do something too intricate, so I'm just going to go in with my Makeup by Mario Master Matte. I'm just going to grab like a crease shade, and I'm just going to use this as my transition blending brush. I have to say, not my favorite. I don't love the shape of it. I wish it was maybe like tapered. I feel like it's not grabbing that much product, and I don't know, it's just not like, it's taking me quite a bit of times to like build this up. I wish it was something like this rather than flat like this, but I do think you could maybe use this to blend out your concealer. I'm a little disappointed just because usually in these type of brush sets they have like a really, really good blending brush, and this is just not my favorite. It definitely does the job though, but you know, I just think they could do better because e.l.f. is great, so I just think that they can do better. Then we have another blending brush, but this one's actually pinched, so I'm actually just going to use like a deeper shade, and I'm going to use this to blend under the crease as well as on the outer corner to deepen out the look. I don't know what it is, I'm just not loving these eye brushes. Again, they're definitely getting the job done, but so far I'm definitely more impressed with the face brushes. Next we have the Detail Crease Brush. Now this one looks just like the other one, but it's tiny. I do like that they have a tiny blending brush. I definitely think that brush like sets don't have enough of these. I love these type of brushes. Again, I just wish it was tapered. Let's just use it with like a very dark shade to again add more intensity. Ugh, I'm not loving these. Not loving these. These are just not a good shape. Again, getting the job done, just not the best shape. I'm also going to use this for my lower lash line because it is a small blending brush, so you guys know I like to smoke it out. Definitely think this works nicer to smoke out your lower lash line. So next we have the Eyeshadow C brush. This is like a pretty dense brush, but it's actually a little bit softer feeling, and this normally I would use it for under the lash line, but I think it's supposed to give you like that C shape around your eye, so let's go ahead and do that as well. I do like this brush actually. I feel like it's grabbing on to the product and it's not making it like super dusty, and it just feels nicer. I just feel like The other brushes, they don't feel bad. I just don't love the shape of them for what they're trying to achieve. So next we have the flat eyeshadow brush. Personally, by the feel of it, I feel like this should have been the concealer brush because the other one to me would be better for this, but they say to use this for like a cream shadow or a liquid shadow. I'm personally just going to use it as a flat brush to add my inner corner shade in. Something like this is not the best for powders. Let's go ahead and use the ColourPop Ultra Shock Ritz. Oh my gosh, it came out. I use this so much. I usually use it with my fingers, but let's go ahead and put that on with this little flat brush. It's not really applying it very well actually, like at all. I think this would be best for applying concealer, whether it's under the eyes or use it to carve your eyelid with concealer or whatever you want to use. Definitely for liquids. Liquids. I'm mumbling now. So next we have a small smudge brush, a small precision brush, and an angled brush. I don't think we needed to have this one in the set because we already have an angled brush with the eyebrow one, but maybe we can use this to do like a, I don't know, an eyeliner. I'll definitely use this one for an inner corner highlight, and then this little smudge brush, I don't really know what to use it for. It's definitely more of like a detailer brush. So I'm just going to use like a mixture of these two as like eyeliner brushes. I'm gonna grab like just a black shade on the small smudge brush, and I'm going to give it a little spritz, and we'll use it as eyeliner. Oh my god, I just got freaking eyeshadow everywhere. Yeah, I think this is like a really nice little brush to like carve out and be very intricate in. Not a smudge brush because it's literally flat. You can't really smudge. So I'm just going to use the angled brush really quickly and do a little bit of eyeliner because I can't keep doing that anymore. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to be using the small precision brush. I'm going to wet it and use it as my inner corner highlight. And this actually works really, really great for that. It's really packing on the product, so I really do like that. Alrighty guys, makeup is done, and I did want to show you how the brush like little roller looks. These are all the brushes right there. This is how it looks with all the brushes. So again, it doesn't really take much space. It's definitely travel friendly. So now that I have my makeup done, let's first talk about the sunscreen. My makeup looks great. I definitely think that everything glid on, however the heck you say that. The makeup looks good. It doesn't feel weird, different, nothing peeled off. So it went over my skincare products really, really nicely, as well as under my makeup. Like I mentioned, the only thing that I think is important to note is that it definitely mattified my skin tint a little bit. So if you're trying to keep your skin super, super glowy, this I think will change the finish of your complexion products. So, you know, in that case, then go in with the glowy one. So I do think that there's space for both of these in the makeup world. But for a blurring primer, I think it's really nice. I definitely think it's worth checking out. And then when it comes to this brush set, overall, I give it like an 8 out of 10. I think that the face brushes actually impressed me way more than the eye brushes, but I think that you do get a good amount of good face brushes in it with a couple, you know, eyeshadow duds, and then some are really, really nice. I definitely think that you can use these however you want. You don't have to listen to like the directions, but for $3.41 per brush, I do think it's a good deal. I do like that you have a roller so that you can just travel with it. So overall, the amount of brushes that I loved, I still think would be worth the $58. So I do think this is worth it, but hopefully this video helped you out to figure out if this would be perfect for you. Does that make sense? So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Don't forget to check out my other videos if you guys want to see more of the brand new e.l.f. products. And I do post every single day on my Instagram short form content, so if you guys want to go look at that, definitely go look at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!